On that note, I'd like to introduce to you our wonderful candidate, Ross Wilburn, running for House District 46.
Thanks, Amanda. Hello, Democrats. Hello. That's what I like to hear right there. Everybody's still fired up from the parade. My name is Ross Wilburn. My preferred pronouns are he, him, and his. Really had fun riding in the parade. I had my U.S. Team Cycling replica jersey on, but it was some good energy out there today. I'm very pleased to be, honored to be your candidate for the Iowa House District 46, and want to thank Lisa. Thank you for all the work that you did, especially championing mental health care and a lot of the different areas that you did. So you're going to continue doing your great work as a Story County Supervisor. Along with Linda and Loris. The message that I want to get across to you about Independence Day is important that we enjoy and realize that we enjoy these freedoms, but they don't come easy. They were fought for. They were earned. They can be taken away. That we're discovering by President 45, as well as some of the actions that have happened by the governor and Republican leadership here in the legislature. I served in the Iowa Army National Guard for 6 years. My brother served in Desert Storm 1. His daughter, she's in the Army, and she outranked both of us. But my great-great-grandfather served in the Civil War, what was known as the Colored Troops back then. And he was the great-grandson of slaves. And my main point is we need to honor the troops and respect the work that they've done, but that's not the only way to serve our country, to serve our community. It's not the only way to show patriotism. So a message is, don't let anyone tell you what a patriot is or not. There are a lot of ways to do that. You all show your patriotism when you use your First Amendment rights, when you speak up. When you see that it's important that we have adequate funding for public education, our community colleges and universities is a way that's going to sustain training the best and brightest in our state. It's agriculture, it's engineering, it's healthcare, and it's teachers. And speaking of teachers and some of those other professions, we need to reclaim the right to collective bargain for our unions. So, yeah, very much so. In 2007, I was a mayor, and I signed the U.S. Climate Protection Agreement, and that set forth a 10-year effort of not only sustainable energy practices trying to reduce that community's carbon footprint, but it also put in some clean jobs in place. And with the wind industry here and solar, even though both have taken some hits in terms of tariffs, and our governor started to tax if you bought an electric vehicle, those types of things are going in the wrong direction. And so we as Democrats know that climate change is real, and there are steps that we can do to become more climate change resilient in the state to get ahead of it, not only for our environment, future generations, but we can make a living, put good jobs in place doing that too. A third thing that I want to emphasize, and there's a lot of different issues, but that mental health care. I'm a former social worker. Yeah. Former social worker, and I did actually in the 1990s. I did a lot of work in another community, but in conjunction with folks here at Youth and Shelter Services in town, providing counseling. But it's critical that we have a comprehensive mental health care system with prevention, intervention, treatment, and education. It's so important. It's a quality of life issue. All of us at some point are going to be impacted by mental health issues, either personally, a family member, or a friend. And it really is just lost opportunity and lost human potential when folks aren't able to have that high quality of life if they're impacted in a negative way by mental illness. So those are three issues that I just wanted to share briefly. But again, use your First Amendment rights. Speak up when you speak up about education and concern about sensible gun control and the woman's right for the full range of mental health, of health care, including abortion. You are being a true patriot. So have a great rest of the 4th of July, and I look forward to the canvass this Saturday at noon at the office. We've got a fundraiser the county's going to do for me on the 13th. With Congressman Eric Swalwell and maybe some other folks there. All of you who are with different campaigns, We don't have an opponent right now, but we're going to run hard as if we do. And even if we don't end up with an opponent, we're going to run hard because we're going to keep this seat. We did it in Cedar Falls, the Waterloo area. We're going to show strength, try and pump up the turnout, absentee voting, which starts on the 17th, so 2 weeks from yesterday. We've got to get those absentee ballots out and turned in because the governor's unfortunately setting the election on August 6th. There was no reason to do that. That is unpatriotic. Let's reclaim our democracy, starting right here so that they can take back the House. Again, Ross Wilburn, check out rosswilburn.org, and I thank you for the work we're going to do together. Let's recapture the House. Thank you.
Thanks, Ross. I know that a lot of the presidential campaigns already have committed to helping us canvass. There's a list over there by John in the Fender shirt. If you want to just sign up. Like Ross said, we'll be canvassing from our office, 415 Main Street at noon. So come on out. We have literature. There's some of it's over there if you want to have a look. And the fundraiser is going to be at Moore Memorial Park at the Big Blue Stem Shelter, and that's at 3 o'clock, July 13th. So just keep in mind, we need more than just your votes. We need your time. We need your donations. And let's hear from some more of our elected officials. Herman, are you ready? This is our Senator Herman Quirmbach.
Well, it's wonderful to see you all here today. We come out to celebrate our Independence Day, the most patriotic of all holidays, and one that shouldn't be undermined by partisanship. But that's not what Trump is going to be doing in Washington this afternoon. I hope you'll tune in later tonight when you get the fireworks and the symphony and all the patriotic music. Democracy is not a spectator sport. You've heard me say that only about 10,000 times. I know Lisa's going to do a great job on the Board of Supervisors, but that is an incredibly important seat to fill. First of all, for losing her expertise, we need somebody like Ross, who has a strong background in human services, who can step into that role. And we need to hold that seat, and we need to demonstrate that that seat is not something that Republicans want to contest either this year or next year. We have to focus next year on taking back the majority in the House. That's particularly important, not just so that we can stop the flow of awful legislation that we've seen the last 3 years, but so that we will have a voice in redistricting after the 2020 census, and that's going to be really important. We do redistricting in the fairest possible way here in Iowa, but if they run the table, well, there's a good chance that they can overturn that. And if they start gerrymandering the way they've done in places like Pennsylvania and Ohio and Wisconsin, we'll lose another decade. You know, if they think of Iowa, some people think of Iowa as, well, it's just this flyover state. Well, I got news for them. We are ahead of the curve in so many ways. You know, back in January, every place else, the calendar turned 2019, and Iowa turned 2020. as you're all well aware. So we have a major responsibility in choosing the Democratic nominee for president. You know, they complain, I get tired of hearing these folks complain that, oh, well, Iowa isn't diverse enough to have a voice. Well, excuse me, but who launched Barack Obama? Okay? We're the ones who made Barack Obama a real contender there. So we're going to look at all of the candidates. We have a great diverse field, a lot of talent. We have actually an embarrassment of riches, and of course the other side just has an embarrassment. So I can't thank you enough for all of your involvement, for all of your efforts, for all the efforts that are going to come in the next year and on to the election in 2020 after that little election in 2019. Thank you all for coming here.
Yeah, I like to say that the Democrats, we have choices. Yay! So let's hear from Linda Murkin, the chair of the Story County Board of Supervisors.
Thanks, Maddie. First, I want to really say how pleased we are at the county that Lisa Heddens has joined us at the board table. Loris and I are both very glad to have another Democrat there, and we are, as we understand, the first all-female board of supervisors in Iowa. Now, when people ask me, I say we have 3 very competent people on our board. We bring in different perspectives, different information, different styles. They all complement each other, and we just all happen to be women. Okay? But I think it's important that we have an all-women board. The thing I want to talk about, and it kind of fits in with what Herman said, was about gerrymandering. And I'm going to talk right now to the young people who are here with campaigns. And probably most, not all of you, will be, when you leave Iowa, going to other states. I heard on River to River, on public radio the other day, they were talking about the recent Supreme Court decision. We know that's a very, very bad decision in terms of voting rights. What I was particularly hearing was that there might even be states that have independent redistricting commissions, that those might be in jeopardy because of the fact that they are not legislative. And I've not read this decision, but what the person was saying is that might put those things in jeopardy. And actually, about the only redistricting plan in the nation that isn't in jeopardy because of that decision is Iowa's. So I'm going to encourage you all to look at our system, to look at our redistricting plan. And Herman is right. We need to keep that, because that is one of the things that keeps Iowa politics clean. That's what keeps us all having the vote. You know, we need to keep that system, and we want to see other states adopt a system like Iowa's. So go to the legislature's website and you'll find it. Find that plan, take it with you, share it wherever you go, because we can do better. We can protect the vote in all 50 states if people look at that decision and say, how do we do it? And say, Iowa seems to have a good idea. So that's all I wanted to say, but we need to protect the vote. So whatever you can do to help. Thank you.
Now I'd like to hear from Lisa Heddens, our newest member of the County Board of Supervisors.
Thanks, Maddie, and thank everyone for being here today. I first want to start off, when I first ran for office for the legislature was back in 2002, and Herman was on the hit ticket as well. So it's been a long 17 years that we have served together, although different houses, but we have served together. And it's really been kind of that honor to be a part of that process. And I know Herman will continue to fight the fights that need to be done down at the State House. It is quite an honor to be with Linda and Loris, and I will say Linda, Loris, Lisa, Linda, Loris, Lisa, 5 times fast. And people are already messing up who we are and stuff. To take some of that knowledge base and bring it back down to the local level, and just that added thing that we are strong women and we do have various backgrounds, and that we just happen to be the first all-female board in the state of Iowa. That's pretty wonderful as well. And to Ross, congratulations again for winning the nomination. I know you will do well. It's a little bittersweet to have left my seat and to give it to somebody else. But I know you'll do really, really well and stuff, so sorry. But I also just want to say is, I'm so tired of the Republicans when they talk about patriotism and they only see it as saying a pledge of allegiance to a flag. Because really, to me, being patriotic is making sure that children have medical care and that they have education and that seniors are getting the support that they are needing. I look at what's going on down at the border and it just breaks my heart of what's going on. Trump and his cronies don't care. They don't care. And it is going to take all of us out there to remind them that pledging to the flag is not the only thing that we need to be looking at. We need to make sure that everybody has health care, that everybody has food on the table, that they have transportation, that they have job opportunities, and that they have their voice being heard, and that they exercise their right to vote. The governor this year has decided to set up a special election when the students aren't back yet. They are to be represented by Ross come August, and yet they're not going to be there at the table to vote for that special election, which is so wrong. So we certainly need to be out there. I am proud to have been a part of it at the state level, and I am really looking forward to continuing the opportunity to be working at the local level. Thank you.
Thanks, Lisa. One more event I wanted to let you know about is on July 12th. We will be meeting in Nevada at the Story County Justice Center. This is the Lights for Liberty event. It's a candlelight vigil, and it is a demonstration in opposition to the shameful conditions at the border camps. The Justice Center it holds some post-adjudicated people who are ready for deportation. It does not hold people who have simply applied for asylum. They're not holding children. We are not protesting this facility. In fact, they have been very welcoming to us and have arranged for us to have this event there. So that will be at 7 o'clock on July 12th. Hope that you can all join us here, and thank you all for coming and hang out and enjoy each other's company.
One other thing, I think many of you know, but Beth Wesselk Rochelle, her mother died. The visitation is tonight, I want to say 7 to 8:30, something like that. Yes, and that's at St. Andrews. St. Andrews Lutheran is on Colorado. It's about a block north of Lincoln Way, and the service, if you want to go to the service, that's tomorrow at the same church. So let's keep Beth and her family in our thoughts and prayers. Okay. Hate to end on a sad note like that, but Edith and Bob Wessel, her husband, real good Democrats, and Beth is following in that proud tradition.